How could that be? How can you turn away somebody that's coming there and offering free help?
How many board members are there on this particular?
Good question. I would say
Do they not keep
8.
minutes?
I beg your
Or
pardon?
do they not keep minutes in their meetings?
Oh, you can't get the minutes. You can't get anything.
If they are kept. And how long have these people been on this board?
A long, long
Okay.
time.
Right.
Some of them have been on the board since I was there in 2002.
So, Representative Gardner.
Thank you, and thank you, ma'am, for being here today and telling us about this issue. I am wondering whether current Colorado law, both common law as observed in Colorado and statutes, might not be sufficient to deal with the problem. And I'm not saying that I'm opposed to the bill. I'm just curious. The Attorney General of Colorado has a common law authority and duty and responsibility that I think he takes very seriously to look into misuse of nonprofit and charitable funds. And I'm just wondering if you sought any assistance from the Attorney General?
Yes, sir, we have. On
Mrs.
November
Corsentino?
3rd, we brought this whole stack of documents to the Attorney General.
Mrs. Corsentino, as a matter of people who are listening in online, I have to recognize the person who's going to speak so that the people listening, so it's just kind of a protocol we're going to take. So when somebody has a question, I'll call on the representative and then I'll state your name right before you respond.
May I just
Go
add
ahead.
one more thing I
Yes.
forgot? Mr. Latino reminded me. I forgot to mention to you, and this is very important, the value of those Bessemer ditch stocks, the last offer that was made by the City of Pueblo to stockholders was $10,500 per share. If you do the math on that, at 231 shares times 10,500, that is a valuable asset at approximately $2,425,500.
You're an amazing calculator. We're going to go back to Representative Gardner for a follow-up.
Thank you. And Mrs. Corsentino, just to follow up on that, is the Attorney General, are they investigating now? Or they told you that there's nothing they can do, or where is that?
Sir,
Mrs.
we don't know.
Corsentino?
We brought everything up to her on, Alyssa Garden-Schwartz has been assigned to our complaint. And we brought everything up to her. She was very generous with her time. We did a 2-hour presentation on November 3rd, and I have not heard anything since.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Gardner. Let's move to Representative Pace.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Ms. Corsentino, for taking the trip here. And just as background for you, this is on the Roseland Cemetery.
Let me just say that Representative Pace is from Pueblo, so
Yeah.
he's got some history.
Yeah, and I'm sure Representative Swartberger's in the same boat. We've been getting emails and inquiries for probably a couple of years now. And personally, every time we've sent it on to someone we think can make a difference, including the Attorney General's office, or I believe the Ledge Council, whomever I can think of, it's been incredibly difficult to find an avenue to find a solution. And so this bill doesn't deal specifically with Roselawn, but as I think Ms. Corsentino said, at least gives an avenue for the plot owners, the family members of plot owners, to serve on the board. We should find a solution.
The way the bill is stated, from my understanding, is we could get the records, the financial records. They'd have to give them to us.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Corsentino. Representative Swartberger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Ms. Corsentino, for bringing this issue before us today. Do you know how the existing board is elected?
No,
or
sir.
how they're removed?
And we cannot find that out, sir. This is like a cloistered convent, for lack of a better comparison. There's no way in and there's no way out.
Hotel California. Thank you, Mrs. Corsentino. And I'm going to move over here to Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mrs. Corsentino, for coming in. My grandparents and great-grandparents are interned at Roseland. And I'm glad that there's somebody who takes concern, because people that don't live in the same city and live a distance away they don't often go to see what the disrepair is, and I'm glad that you're doing that. Compliment you for doing it.
Well, thank you, and it's amazing because our email contact base has grown to 600 because people from out of town have read our articles online, etc., and it has paid off, so to speak.
And Representative Conti.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just curious, is there any knowledge about if these types of problems exist in any other cemeteries anywhere else in the state? Do we have any, has anyone contacted you from your internet articles to say, oh gosh, the same thing, we've got similar situations here, there, thither and yon?
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs.
Thank you for asking. The gentleman that will speak next and give his testimony is Tom Murphy, and this very similar situation is going on in Trinidad, which is 90 miles up the road from Sparta. So that's why I made the comment. If it's happening in Pueblo, you can be sure it's happening somewhere else.
Mrs. Corsentino, do you happen to know how many non-profit cemetery boards there are across the state?
Would you believe that's the only thing I haven't researched?
I wouldn't.
Listen, don't bother.
Thank you.
Don't ask that.
Okay, all right. Are there any further, Representative Fields?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
My question is regarding nonprofit cemeteries. Aren't they required to register with the Secretary of State?
Absolutely.
Where you can see their bylaws and their articles of incorporation and those kinds of things? And have you found any information on that site?
Ma'am, we have been to their site. The only information available is their articles of incorporation. You asked the same question Alyssa Garden-Schwartz said the day we did our presentation on November 3rd. She said to me, you brought me everything else but the bylaws. Lucille, where are the bylaws in this stack? And I said, they will not give them to us. They actually told one of the ladies from our group that went to the office and requested the bylaws, it is none of your business. Now, if you own something out there, if I own 10 lots out there, how can they stand there and tell me it's none of my business? I beg to differ.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony today. Thank you for taking the time to drive up here and be here at the Capitol on this, and what is obviously an important and passionate issue for you. And now we are going to go to Thomas Murphy. And Mr. Murphy is driven here today from Trinidad. We appreciate you being at the Capitol.
I have some things to pass out.
The staff.
But I guessed that there's 8. I made 12, but I need to hang on to 1.
We can share. We'll share. We share.
Okay.
Local government.
Let me take off my jacket. It's been a long drive. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning.
We appreciate you being here. We really do. When you have a seat there, I'm going to ask you to state your name and an association to a group, or whether you're here personally on your own, and identify that for the record and to our members of the committee.
Okay, my name is Thomas Joseph Murphy. I'm from Trinidad, Colorado. I'm here on my own behalf and as a funeral director, funeral home owner, as a television station owner, and a news station owner. So that's why the camera is here.
Quite a few hats.
What's that?
It's quite a few hats.
It is. It is. The Denver posted a story back in 2007. So.
Go ahead and proceed.
I was told I have just a few minutes, so I've compressed 30 years of history into 5 minutes. And what I've given you all are alphabetized A through I believe. So I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can to try and compress all this. To explain real quickly, item number A, which is on the far left, is the bylaws. My family moved here. Let me back up a little bit. My family moved here in November of 1981 and purchased a funeral home in Trinidad. We're originally from South Dakota. We're Catholic, and we bought a funeral home in Trinidad and started doing business. I was able to obtain the bylaws and articles of incorporation and other documents that you'll see here through a long process that started way back in 2003. To make a long story short, in April of 1992, as you can see by number A, there was a bylaw change in the Trinidad Catholic Cemetery Association. And it said on there shall always be a priest on the board of the Catholic Cemetery. It was signed by 2 priests and the person at the time who had managed it, Mr. Fred Tavella. There's 3 pages to that.